I think all of these things can definitely be related to men as well.
Yeah, sorry.
But definitely seen a lot through females as well.
Yeah.
But I know one big thing that I work with a lot of my female clients on is making themselves a priority.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of females who they care for their families, they care for their children, they're caring for people while they're at work,
Right.
and they oftentimes go years without fully making themselves a priority or really caring for themselves.
Yeah.
And so then they see their health and their quality of life
Declining.
start to decline.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Healthy Living Wichita podcast with Go Time Training. I'm your host, Raymond Elliott, lead personal trainer at Go Time Training in Northeast Wichita, Kansas. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years now, and I've seen it all. This podcast cuts through all the fads and gimmicks to give you a science-based truth on all things fitness and nutrition, so you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. If you want to live happier and healthier and get the scoop on how to work out, eat right, and keep a positive mindset, you're in the right place. It's go time. Now, let's get to the show. All right, another one bites the dust. Here we go for a Healthy Living Wichita podcast. This is your DJ, Raymond Elliott, with my esteemed guest and colleague and wonderful friend, Kelsey Natagal.
That's close.
Close.
That's good. Very good.
Well, I said it in like a weird voice. But anyways, so this is Kelsey. She's been on here before. She's the one that told us a lot about some great things that we can do for stress and getting out. And actually somebody I talked to today about screen time because he's dealing with, the whole Lebanese situation and all that stuff and just like adding a lot of stress that really can't do anything about because he's not there. So that was some really good points. But I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself because I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. So go ahead, Kelsey.
So I'm Kelsey, lead personal trainer of operations here at Go Time. I personal train. I teach yoga classes and other classes, and
and about 1,000 other things. Help support the whole staff and everything that we do. So she is a big instrumental part of making sure everything runs smoothly here, and thank God for it because I'm not nearly as organized as she is, and so she is definitely the better part of what I can't do. So much appreciated in those aspects, or Go Time would probably crumble. But that being said, we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about some other things.
we are.
And I don't know if the viewers know, and I don't know if we need to be gender specific, but I am a male. So I don't have a lot of understanding or any understanding when it comes to people. I've worked with many of them, so I've got to learn a lot of the, different aspects. But I thought it'd be great, you as a female and working with women and having a little bit more of an understanding of it, is to speak about, some things that maybe is uniquely specific to working with females through exercise and some things that you see and we've talked about in the past before because you helped me out.
Absolutely. And I think all of these things can definitely be related to men as well.
Yeah, sorry.
But definitely seen a lot through females as well.
Yeah.
But I know one big thing that I work with a lot of my female clients on is making themselves a priority.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of females who they care for their families, they care for their children, they're caring for people while they're at work,
Right.
and they oftentimes go years without fully making themselves a priority or really caring for themselves.
Yeah.
And so then they see their health and their quality of life
Declining.
start to decline.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I just had somebody come in today. Shout out to you, Jessica. I won't say last names, but came in today, and that was one of the things. She just had a baby a couple years ago, and she's like, "Hey, it's time. I've prioritized them, which she'll continue to do, but she's like, I need to also prioritize myself.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to kind of get back into my fitness and everything. So that's funny that it literally happened. Probably was like 12 hours ago, but earlier today, that already happened. So yeah, that is a big problem. I think for men, and not saying once again genders and everything changes, and there's definitely men that probably also are nurturers and prioritize kids and all that stuff. But I think a lot of times they prioritize work, and sometimes they put that above a lot of things because that's how they provide for their family, but they don't take time for themselves. And we have a lot of business women out there the same. But
absolutely.
you definitely see a lot of women that put a lot of their priorities into their kids, into their husbands, their nurturing aspects.
Yeah.
And that's probably a difficult thing for them.
Yeah, they're not setting aside time to exercise. They're not taking time to take care of their stress levels. And
yeah, I can imagine that can be extremely stressful.
Yeah, well, everything in life can be. But yeah, just working on creating boundaries with your time and with your energy, learning to say no.
Oh,
That's a hard thing. I mean, it's something I struggle with, something you struggle with.
Yeah, because we're both nurturers, and we both want to do everything for everybody.
Exactly. So, yeah, taking the time and saying, no, I can't do that, or I can't do that right now. I could help you later.
Right, because you have other priorities.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And yeah, but also finding time in there where it's not just other people's priorities, but it's your own as well. Right. And so it's doing things for yourself too, things that are important to you. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like specific to the gym. So, I mean, taking time to do your hobbies or
run and listen to Let It Be.
Let It Go.
Let It Go. Let It Be's better because I think that's the Beatles. But
right.
Let It Go.
You know, sometimes you need a little Frozen soundtrack while you go running. Yeah. I mean, don't hate on my music. Sometimes it's the circle of life, and sometimes it's
Let It Go.
Let It Go.
You got a microphone. You want to try it out real quick?
I
think we'll get tons of views if you do. This would be like America's Go Time's Got Talent.
I think I'm going to have to pass on that one here.
Okay.
I'm going to work on setting boundaries and
You're going to say no.
with my personal energy and saying no to this one right here.
But prioritizing, if that's listening to Let It Go or running or exercise or whatever it is, to set some things for yourself to focus on is huge. And from your experience, we see a lot of women have a difficulty of doing that because of their nature, caring, wanting to do for others, wanting to put themselves second, third, fourth, fifth in those lines. And so that's something that you think could be beneficial 100%. For our lovely ladies and men out there is to prioritize and make themselves a focal point at some point in their days in life.
Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Do you see is there any specifics from women that put that through there? Do you see that changes their activity levels, their physiological, like just, always putting so much into other people, that cause stress?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So we see this a lot through females, a lot through just anyone who's like a nurturer, caregiver type person. But most of those kind of people are going to be holding a lot of stress through their shoulders and through their neck. So you're seeing a lot of elevation up here, a lot of tight neck, tight jaw, tight shoulders. And then oftentimes you're even seeing like rounded shoulders. So I'm working on a lot of exercises to help to stretch through the front of your chest, through the front of your shoulders, stretch your neck, help to let go of some of that tension, and then working on strengthening your upper back muscles, working on through mobility in those areas as well.
So for the women out there that are feeling a lot of stress in their neck because of those things, because of all the activities they have to do and the stress that they have to endure, taking care of others, which obviously we appreciate. Is there 2 or 3 things, because I like to always provide, and I always like to put you guys on the spot, but I like to provide like something that they could start doing daily that maybe help out through some of those common postural and stress and tight areas that we see with people?
Yeah, absolutely. So one exercise that we do just as part of our warm-ups for pretty much all of our classes, and then for a lot of personal training clients as well, are open books.
Get on, do we have enough room in here?
I think we might not be in the frame.
Okay.
Maybe we could put a link
that's a good
these
idea.
Exercises.
We'll put a link.
Yeah, so we can show you too. Open books are one, helps to kind of like we said, stretch through the front of your chest, work on a little bit of mobility through your upper back, and you also get a little bit of like neck stretch in there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
One of my favorite ones, and most of my clients would recognize this one, but doing wall angels where your back is up against the wall. Yeah, working on that mobility through there.
Pulling those shoulders back.
Mm-hmm.
Working those rhomboid muscles, which we learned in the teaming the other day, which we already knew, but we went back over those the other day.
Absolutely. And then I guess just another one that I really enjoy doing are like band pull aparts or band no monies.
Yeah.
just to help just to strengthen those muscles, and you're really feeling those muscles contract and work.
Yeah. I think another thing that, that could be good prioritizing, especially for the moms out there, it would be massages, to get a massage. We might have one of these days. We're going to have one of our friends and colleagues out here that owns Triple Threat, Megan, and she's going to talk a little bit about massage. But this is not a selfless plug for her, but I did that for you anyway, so if you're watching. But I think a massage, that's a really great thing to do for yourself. And that can help out with a lot of the stress. So between massage and those exercises, which we'll put in a link, Kelsey's going to go film those quickly after this, but we'll find a way to put those in there, and so you guys can actually do those. And I think those daily would be good, finding some time, setting that when you can, and doing some of those, even if you don't make it to the gym, could be probably extremely beneficial for aches and pains and stress and all those fun things.
And I mean, even like my restorative yoga classes, we're doing a lot of those same exercises. We don't use bands, but same exercises. And then oftentimes we'll do like a little bit of massage too. We do like facial massages. We'll do like neck and shoulders as you're starting to like stretch out some of those tight muscles.
I need to do that. Restorative yoga is good. When are you doing your restorative yogas?
Monday, 7:30 p.m. and then Wednesday, 6:30 p.m.
Okay, and how would somebody get involved in that if they wanted to?
I mean, they're all virtual classes, so anyone can sign up for them. They're all complimentary. So
man, that's nice.
Call up to Go Time. We can get you.
I don't know. That's why I'm not doing
class.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna prioritize myself real quick.
Schedule us some yoga classes here for you.
I mean, I need to. I mean, I think yoga is beneficial for everybody. And I think, like we said, we do kind of focus some of these things more female based. And I do think there's difference in genders and the ways that our roles are, and there's difference in our biomechanics and how we wear stress and things that we do.
That's very true.
And we'll probably have videos on those in the future. Exercises for most men and women are going to be really the same, and you really is not going to be much difference in the programming, even though people think there is. But there is definitely some things difference between those. But a lot of these things also are very applicable for each other, and yoga is something that not a lot of men do, but I think a lot of men could definitely benefit from doing it, including myself. I used to back in the day, so I always say I'll get back into it, but maybe I'll hide in one of those virtuals. Maybe I'll just have a video of my fan, and then you won't be able to see me personally. So that'll work.
That sounds like
you won't be able to see me fall down.
Plan, right? You're gonna do yoga up in the ceiling.
Well, I'll be there. Just the view will be. Can you can't really see each other, or you can shut off your camera if you wanted to and just follow along.
A lot of people just shut off their cameras and their microphones so no one else is watching you. Most people just have me pinned on the screen anyways, so I don't think that most people are watching anyone else in the class. Everyone else is absorbed in what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, yoga has a lot of like really diving into yourself and being really, really focused. So if you're really focusing on everybody else, you're probably not doing your best in your yoga anyways.
Yeah. You might be missing the main point behind your yoga class.
Watching me do yoga might draw some people's attention because it'd just be quite funny. So is there anything else that you think would be beneficial, just kind of once again kind of talking about women and how they prioritize some of those aspects and how that can affect them, or anything else that you think that you could provide for us women out there? Well, not us, but the women out there. It's been a long day.
I mean, so oftentimes, like, we'll even hear this a lot, like when we're talking about like assessments and like setting goals for women, and discussing what they've liked in their exercise programs or things that they've done in the past. And you hear just kind of like some common keywords that kind of get thrown around a lot. So we hear a lot of women saying that they want to be toned. They want to be toned. And so generally you're thinking you're not wanting to see a whole lot of fat mass. You're wanting to see more lean body mass. But then there's always the fear of getting bulky.
Are we debunking myths right now?
We're not debunking myths. I'm not a myth buster.
Okay.
I'll educate a little bit, but that's about it. But they're gonna be very similar. And as you dive more into resistance training and go farther down that journey, you'll be able to start to see different changes in your body, and you'll start to notice what exercises work for you. And typically most females are not going to be lifting heavy enough or lifting often enough to where you're going to see yourself getting bulky and having that low of body fat percentage where you're going to see that kind of musculature.
Yes. Everybody's worried about like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a ponytail.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's just not the case. And exercise is a great stress reliever. It is, it's a mechanical stress, but it can be a physiological stress reliever. And I think one of the biggest things, and I credit CrossFit for this, which I don't like to give them too many plugs out there, but I do, is the fitness, women's fitness revolution is what they call it, where women really have got more into heavier weight training, and they're not focused on cosmetics as much and how everybody looks and how the person looks next to him. They're focusing on their own personal performance and focusing on hitting, more PRs, hitting weights. We got, Becky out there getting ready to do a powerlifting, and I think that can be hugely if not even the actual physiological aspects, like the actual progress in your own cosmetics, but just the progress in your confidence, which is huge.
I mean, that's like a life experience most people will never have. Going into that kind of a world, that kind of a competition.
Yeah, and just even
and doing it for yourself.
Even in the gym, just working on it. Even if you're not, have somebody progressing, knowing that you're lifting more weights. That's, I mean, I think it's really, I think men, we go through that and we're kind of, how much you bench, bro?
Right.
And we, also men have confidence issues, not me, but no, men have confidence issues, including me. But I think with women, it's a big thing to have that and be able to know that you're strong and that you can lift a lot of weights. And hey, get out of my way, I got this bag, I don't need you to help me.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like that's a really empowering feeling. And I mean, even just to be able to say that you can do those kind of things.
Yeah.
And, knowing that you have the strength. And I mean, that kind of strength is going to be so beneficial in your life as well. Yeah. You're going to be able to pick up things and not hurt your back. You're going to be able to, reach across. You're going to be able to reach down, grab your grandchild and pick them up.
Yeah, pick up your kids, which is really difficult sometimes.
Yeah. But definitely a huge difference. And then, I mean, especially for women, that's going to affect their longevity and their health and their happiness, especially as you go into things like menopause and you're worried about osteoporosis.
Bringing it out, so I mean, go into in women fitness. So I read a study that on average, non-weightlifting women lose about a half pound of muscle a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you talk about 20 years, that's 10 pounds of muscle mass, and that's huge. Also, women are a lot higher risk for osteoporosis, having fracture. They have a higher risk of having a hip fracture than they do having breast cancer, which there's a higher mortality rate of people that have hip fractures over the age of 50. It's very predominant. Menopause causes you to have more chances of gaining body fat and gaining or losing bone mineral density, and weight training helps prevent that. It also helps regulate hormones. So we can really get in a lot of those things, but basically what we're saying, there's a lot of benefit for women to prioritize themselves. There's a lot of benefits in women to work on areas that are very commonly associated with tightness and posture dysfunction with them. And there's a lot of benefits for women to weight train and actually lift heavy weights to their abilities and find where that's at. And obviously the most important thing is consistency and enjoyment regardless. But if you can pick up some iron, those are really all beneficial for everybody, but kind of specifically in this category for females.
Yes, I agree.
You're so good.
Thanks for the summary.
Yeah, no doubt. I always like to summarize. I like everybody to summarize and kind of know where we're going on those things. And I think that, having, it's been an amazing thing in the 20 years because, like I said, I would say 80% of my clients over these 20 years have been female. And it's been amazing to see the changes of that from the beginning of what every woman wanted. They just wanted to be skinnier. As long as the scale was less, that's all they cared about. They just wanted to tone. They wanted to do higher amounts of cardio, and we still see that 20 years later. But the transition, I remember small booties was everything. So this is probably before your time in Instagram. So women would come in I just want my butt smaller, and no matter what. Now half my program I think is making women's butts bigger, as you have the glute Bible. So it's just really, it's inspiring. It's really amazing to be a part of the industry for so long, which over your time and career, you'll see it change so many times. And you probably have already seen it change a lot. But with women, men, some of the ideologies and understandings has changed, but it's not, it's always happened. But for women, it's been a dramatic change in that. And I think some of the things you hit on, taking priority into themselves, lifting weights, it's been pretty cool. And it's glad to be able to see that perspective. it'd be even nice to be able to understand the perspective because you've seen it with yourself and your own fitness goals and your own ideas and thoughts, and you'll probably learn more as a female as you get older and do whatever you do in your future. Yeah. Whatever that may be. I'm not going to say have kids and get married because I don't know what your future is, but that is a possibility, I imagine, sometimes. Yeah. Cool. Sure. Do you have anything else? I think those are some really good takeaways.
I don't think I have anything else. I think that summarized it pretty well.
Well, you did a great job. I appreciate you. Is there, so if you guys have any comments, anything more about female fitness, I'm sure that on our podcast we'll talk more about it and really go through, maybe debunk some myths or talk about the benefits. But I think Kelsey, since she works a lot of people with the mentality and those aspects, really wanted to kind of get into that. She just wants everybody to make themselves a priority. And that there's a lot of benefits out there. And so we'll put in some of the stretches and links on those. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment them, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Yeah. And if you want to join her yoga class, restorative yoga class, she gave you some dates on there, so rewind back. I don't know, that was about hang on, let me find it now. Rewind back a couple minutes, and you can find out when those times are, or we'll put a link down for those as well. Kelsey, always a pleasure. I'm sure you got like 900 things to do after this, so I'll let you get to those. So appreciate you guys. Love you. Healthy Living Wichita. You guys keep living healthy.
Thanks for listening with us.
I am. There we go. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Living Wichita podcast with Go Time Training. If you enjoyed today's show and want to get started with your own fitness journey, I'd love to help kickstart your goals. How do 4 60-minute personal training sessions for $99 with me sound? Head over to www.gotimetraining.com/podcast to claim yours. I can't wait to meet you.